Welcome to the Outdoors Dan Podcast.
Oh, it's so funny
All right.
starting these things. All right, all the kids are put to bed.
Oh yeah, kids are down. They're sleeping away. Yeah, things are good.
Nice, nice. All
You?
right, let's start this thing. Yeah, she's actually currently being put down a little bit later of a bedtime than normal.
What
Had
happens?
later naps throughout the day, and so yeah, now we're here, but it's all good.
I know
It's
Lainey,
all
my
good.
youngest, we're no longer doing second nap. It's just first nap, and that's it now. So
Yeah, down to the one naps.
down to one nap.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for tuning in. You want to know something cool that happened to me this morning?
Sure.
On the Spypoint cams, I got a notification at the water hole where you first came to my property. You're scouting out. This morning, I had 4 bucks that showed up.
No way. Nice little bachelor pack, eh?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So there's one decent 6-pointer, one like really good. I'll send you some photos. One
Yeah.
really good looking 6-pointer, and no, I think he was an 8 actually. And then there was some like a really tall spike. Like this guy has like, not even joking, like a foot of
Really,
growth.
eh? Yeah.
Which is,
Well,
yeah,
you've been putting down
I've never
those
seen that.
minerals, and it shows, right?
Yeah, that sugar addict stuff, eh?
Yeah. No, that
Making them
stuff
grow.
works. Yeah. Just add water
Yeah,
and
so I
some
was
minerals,
like,
and there it goes.
off it goes, and that was something that yeah, it was like, holy shit, perfect timing, gonna have you on the podcast. And then yeah, to have those guys come up, it's like, one, get like so close to season is like a breath of fresh air. It's always
For
nice to
sure.
see some bucks roaming around.
Absolutely.
And then yeah, just two, it's like, shit, okay, some things are happening, things are rolling. But yeah, today, guys, we have a very special guest. Some call him the Deer Whisperer from Whitetail Wise, Dennis. What's up, buddy?
Oh, things are good. Just it's a busy time of year. Everybody's getting their set of analytics all at once. Our fleet of managed properties and our clientele. Everybody's strategy and all comes together at the same time because we all share the same hunting season. So the month of
Mm-hmm.
August and September, it's a very busy time preparing analytics and giving people different variations of strategy that applies to their property. And it's good. And it's good to see it all come together. And then the best part is seeing people follow the strategy and seeing their successful harvest, whether it's early bow season, if that strategy applies to them, or what the strategy might look like for them come the rut. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah,
You must be
no,
getting antsy on your
absolutely.
property.
And oh yeah, man, I'm eager beaver to get out.
Yeah, that's a
Just
beautiful
been baiting
property.
some bears. Yeah, thanks, man. And yeah, just baiting some bears. There's been some like more bear movement than like recently that I've seen around.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, it's cool. 'Cause I always find it sometimes with fall. It's like I'll bait in August and they're hitting it hard at like consistently, and then it's like come September time, for some reason around this property, like they just vanish. But this year they've stuck around.
let's give it a deer.
Yeah, yeah, I
Gives
know.
them some
Yeah,
space.
no, give them some space. Give them some space. But yeah, so your company is located in Ontario, and
Yep,
it focuses on improving whitetail habitat and strategy, right? That's what you
that's
guys
right.
do.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Ontario whitetail deer and how we hunt deer is a little bit different. The habitat in our area is a little bit different than the states. Like our deer populations aren't the same as in the states. Like we might have sometimes in a agricultural southern Ontario environment 5 to 8, 10 to 12 deer per acre. Up here where we live in the northern bush, we're talking 2 or 3, maybe 4 deer per square acre. Um, the populations are different, and it's a lot more competition. It's a lot more real estate. They're looking for natural browse, natural
Mm.
foods. So like when you're hunting in a more woodland-based deer, the a lot of the strategy that we self-educate on YouTube University and so on um, doesn't overly apply. So like our forests are very unique, and so we saw an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity where we started doing our own in-home testing and building strategies and running an analytical approach to, well, let's analyze some of our northern forests. And if you can imagine the battleship as a kid, A1, B2, C3, sunk my battleship. Um, like we kind of take a property and we break it down into a grid, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't determine how you want to hunt the property. You can't determine how you want to access certain things on the property until you start running some sort of analytical review of that property. So, we start at the where we think just by boots on the ground, not like we did on your property, and we determine, like, oh, there's a lot of sign here. Okay, well, like, yeah, we're gonna break the property into like a battleship style grid, but we know that
Mm.
this part here is probably a higher probability. So we start deploying cameras and strategic patterns, like in a grid fashion, and we let them run. We stay out of the woods for 2 or 3, 4 weeks at a time, collect the data, and then we start running analytics about their movement, time of day, dominant winds, and anomalies. And for early season, this works really well, starting to be able to pattern the deer and how they're moving throughout the property. And it's kind of a couple years worth of work. Like you can't necessarily, especially for our type of habitat, it takes a bit to engineer an environment where the deer start to stay, and it takes a while to, because our deer populations are so low compared to the states and other areas. We
Mm-hmm.
have to get a larger set of data to be able to really truly analyze how the deer are behaving on that property set. And when we start looking at the data and we do start breaking it down to a grid format, what is great is you really start to get to see how the deer are moving on your property. Most of us in Ontario, at least by us, we have like a dominant northwest wind. But depending on how the property is, based on contours and elevation, you might have a rock face. Sometimes you can get
Mm-hmm.
lucky and see if, well, like this is, say this is interesting, and so the deer are only moving in this specific spot on a southeast wind. Why? And
Mm-hmm.
like, and that could be just the way your property is, and the different other weather patterns that are all kind of forming together. And you take the whole holistic approach and you build a full strategy of, you start with, how can I access the property? Like, how can I traffic myself through the woods and not disturb the deer that are already in movement? And when you start looking at, the deer are not on the east side in the middle of the day, but they are, say, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, that, if you wanted to travel between like 11 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon based on this path that you already have existing, that's something you might be able to do because you've already ran analytics on their movement. And
Mm-hmm.
when we start looking at from a holistic approach, like movement, you can't hunt your property until you know how you can move through your property. Once you know how you move through your property, then you can choose where you want to hunt. And
Mm-hmm.
the analytics that you would get from the cameras, you tell you where the deer are, and then you start enhancing those locations, whether it's minerals, mock scrapes, adding a strategic food plot if it makes sense. So, like you have that oak flat that at the very back there, beautiful spot that has so much potential. It's high in
Mm-hmm.
elevation. You get that morning southern sun. That, like, it follows the rule book. And like, people who have reached out to Whitetail Wise, they're the diehards. They're the ones who are willing to put in the effort, and they also have the patience, understanding that it takes 1 to 3 years to really determine how a property can become successful. And that a lot of things is, it's very difficult to change a stubborn buck's behavior now, but as you build a habitat and you have all your ducks in a row and whatnot, the does, when they produce new fawns, it becomes generational growth, and you're talking by the
Mm-hmm.
time you hit third or fourth year, those bucks and those does, they become loyal to the property because that's all they know. It has all the sources of food, water, habitat, bedding that they need, and yes, they'll have their travel corridors and their circles, but once you have a hunting property established and you have a habitat in place, you get to enjoy it and just watch it form, because the property will do the
Yeah.
work for you, and hunt smarter, not harder. And by year 3 or 4, you really start to have to pick the litter of what type of buck or doe you want to hunt.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Like I agree with you. Like everything takes time, and you're also fighting against like Mother Nature too, just like the natural cycle of, hey, coyotes, wolves, they're coming in. They can play an impact on population, but if you're essentially like trying to give the deer the right tools to like regrow, stay on your property, grow, and then protect them in a way, but also then you said do some select harvesting and kind of pick your poison. But yeah, I was really impressed. Like when we first got in contact, we were talking about your ideas and like what you got, the services that you provide. It was just like right up my alley because, like you said, a little bit more of that hardcore hunter where you're like, okay, I want to take my property to the next level, and I want like generational growth year after year. I want to be able to monitor more than one deer and just make sure
Yeah.
you increase the population. And I think it was like perfectly like as soon as you like when we started talking at my first phone call, I was like, this is exactly what I want. I got to get this guy out here.
That's amazing.
And yeah, no, it's and like it was super like like you mentioned too, like the states. It's like everyone like when you research something from the states about improving deer habitat, it's always the states. It's always just like very rarely do you ever see something that's oriented around Ontario, Northern Ontario specifically. So I was like, man, this guy, like, you live basically, let's call it my backyard. Like, you live
Yeah,
close enough to be
it's the
like,
same parallel.
yeah, same habitat, same parallel. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. So yeah, I'm super glad we got in contact with each other.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so how long you been doing Whitetail Wise for?
So Whitetail Wise, I mean, like, I've been hunting deer for quite a few years,
Hmm.
but like, for myself, I've been doing it a very long time. But officially, Whitetail Wise on paper, it's we're going on year 4, and
Nice.
so we're a young company in Ontario. But our analytics and our approach, that's something that we've been doing for a while, and we started realizing, like, hey, this works for us, and we tend to be quite successful, and
Mhm.
those around us who follow our friends and family who follow our same kind of suggested steps and improvements, they're tagging out early, they're becoming successful, and
Yeah.
like, we're we all started at that YouTube university watching the others out there do the same kind of habitat management in the States,
Hmm.
and like, what, there really isn't a strategy for Ontario.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so I got to thinking, and the family was on board, and here we are today, 4 years into this.
That's awesome, man. Anytime anyone has any questions about habitat or like, what deer should be, what should I be looking at when deer are eating this or that? It's like, man, go to this guy. He'll set you up. He knows what's up. Like,
Thanks, Dan.
within the, like so you came up to my property, you drove a few hours, you came up and it's like we spent the whole day. We walked around, we toured some things, looking at sign. We saw a deer, a doe
Yeah,
right
we bumped
away.
the dough right away. Yeah.
They're like, okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
just, yeah, followed that, and within like, you found some trails. And another thing I really liked is like, as in the moment you were doing stuff, you're just like marking things down on. I think you're using Hunt Stand, right?
That's
You're
right.
using
Yeah,
that.
we
Yeah,
stand by the product. It works well.
yeah. So you're just like marking stuff down, marking trails, and basically like seeing within a radius of that property is like where it's crossings and then you found this water hole, which is like the creme de la creme, I guess. It's
Yeah.
it's a pretty sick find.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
That
it's like a
water hole is
natural.
amazing.
Yeah, and that's where I've seen the most amount of deer, most amount of bucks. I did take a shot at a doe last year there. I, I don't know quite what happened. I think I shot and it jumped, and anyways, wounded the
It
deer.
happens. It happens to the best of us.
Shit happens, yeah, and you live
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it, and
It's a
and
story,
then
right?
it's a story. It's part of the story. And it's funny that you mentioned that oak flat too. So where I had my tree stand up, the last day of the season, um, a big buck was coming from that oak flat down in to come to the watering hole. I had some bait, some corn thrown down, but he came right down where I didn't really expect him to come. To be honest, he came behind my stand, caught wind of me,
Yeah.
and he bounced. But I was like, oh shit, that like you said, man, that oak flat, I gotta do some stuff there.
And those oaks there, you know, they were both maybe 5 or 6 years old, maybe when we came
Mm.
across them there a few years ago. And you know, it takes about 15
Mm.
years, I believe, for acorns to start dropping.
Wow.
So you got a few years away before they start producing. But
Mm.
you know, we have our like every 3 years they tend to drop acorns, and you know, all of our trees are pretty much asynchronous, so they're all dropping at the same time.
Mm.
And I mean, like by the edges of our one food plot on this specific property that we reside at, um, it looks like peppered acorns everywhere, like crushed acorn
Yeah.
everywhere. And you know, like we have two significant, probably 75-year-old oaks on our driveway at the top there,
Holy moly.
and my daughters are just picking up handfuls of acorns, and like the chipmunks are just having a heyday right now. And you know, it just absolutely is amazing how much acorns can an oak tree can produce.
Wow.
And once they are established, and they're established strategically, you know, like what that means is like as you're walking through the woods, and like we did this along the driveway through, you know, just through snow plowing and other things. Like our driveway is about a kilometer long, and all there's a red oak. There's a red oak, and you know,
Mm.
daughter and I, we were walking down the driveway, and we grabbed our white flagging tape and we flagged it, you know. And you know what we ended up doing was taking those trees and digging them up and getting they do have a deep tap root, so you do got to dig
Mm.
deep. But you pick up the tree, you throw it in a bucket, and then you know when it's time, you plant them accordingly along the edges of where you want them to be. Or you know, like we have like a two-tier food plot where you have like an upper and lower deck on the one spot, and you know, like we have our sugar addict, you know, brassicas on the top, but like at the bottom of this lower deck that we call, we edged it with red oaks. And
Mm.
you know, it's going to take, you know, it's another 8 years or so before they start producing. But when they do, you know, like you're going to have a whole different ball game
Yeah.
every 3 years, and like that becomes this like rotational cycle. Like you know, when that year comes, you could do a different crop in the food plot. You could do conditioning on the food plot. You know, revitalize the soil, put more nutrients in the soil, knowing that your trees are going to be offsetting some of that food source.
Hmm.
So it's on your property, like seeing those red oaks and those young bloods out there, and you know, let's clear some space for them and get them ready to go, and you know, like start transplanting accordingly, and the deer will come. They love it.
Yeah, they'll come, and I'm excited. And like, yeah, challenges with a newborn, time being the
Oh yeah,
biggest thing.
oh
Oh
yeah,
man, and like you know what that's like. And
absolutely.
man, it's you're always battling time because it's not just like holy shit, I need the time to get out there. It's also you're battling against the seasons of spring bears, turkey. Oh, now it's like it's now or never to cut some trees down, or it might be too
Yeah.
late. You don't want to mess up your future hunting season to come.
Well, that's
So
it, right? Like, you know, like we
yeah,
try in our habitat programs that we do with our clients and whatnot. We encourage that about August 15th, no more going
that's
in the
it.
woods. You
That's
know,
it,
like
right?
if a trail cam falls offline, live with it. Like
So that
you know, just don't go out there. Don't poke the bear.
oh, I am so like not bad with it, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just go check it out. If I can do one last thing, and now with yeah, not a lot of time, it's like, fuck. But
You know, like every
uh,
they say like every if you can get in and out like in the rain undetected in the evening, you know, side by side
right,
ride in the rain or something, you know, a side by side or an ATV, it's like a vehicle. They're a little bit more forgiving, but when you are heel toe expressing into the woods and you're leaving a full scent trail, um, yeah, it can take a couple of weeks to if you don't have a deer that are like dedicated to your property that are just blowing up your Spypoint constantly with alerts,
Right.
there's a chance you'll bump that deer for quite a while.
Yeah.
And if you do it today, like October 1st, the pattern might not be restored. And
Right.
all your analytics and all your strategy and everything that you've worked so hard for all season long, it's been spoiled.
It's been spoiled.
It's
Yeah.
been
And
spoiled.
yeah, I find like I am I battle that quite a bit, and like the deer are smart. Like they know their pattern, right? They're animals that they know they're creatures of habit. Another way to say it, but it's
Sure
like
they
yeah,
are.
they'll like, oh man, yeah, the forest, it starts to get busy come August. Oh, it's really busy in September. Oh, now October. We know there's like all this traffic, people's gunshots going off, people making some
That's right.
noises, and yeah, they, especially the seasoned deer that are older, they know what's up.
Well, they're older
Yeah,
for a reason,
yeah, yeah,
right?
right, yep. Yeah, man, and like so, seeing that buck today, I got me
That's
fired up.
exciting. That
Yeah, it was
water hole is absolutely a
oh,
staple to your hunting success there, and
it is,
like all
yeah.
along that edge line in a beautiful ravine. Like, yeah, you have significant options around that knoll there.
hmm Well, this it located right by a saddle as well, coming off,
That's
like you
right.
said, that oak flat. Like it's a nice terrain where there's a food source, water, thick cedars on the bottom side. So they got bedding, they got all three main things of what you're looking for: food, water, and cover. So
That's
it's
right.
just a couple tweaks, probably some shooting lanes, maybe some better access points that I think I could improve on, and then that spot is like money.
Absolutely, and like that,
Yeah.
you made a good point. And like um, habitat management isn't necessarily just making it nice for the deer, but it's also making it nice for us as hunters.
hmm
That includes like when we're getting ready. Say late July, we're getting our pop-up ground blinds put down. We're getting our hang-ons put on. We're getting our ladder stands erected up against a tree. Like we're getting any sort of additional equipment that we probably might already need out there. If it's rifle season, you need a shooting stick. You leave it in the blind, have the sense already kind of controlled on it. Leave your blind window open a little bit, get an air in out, and then, if you're making their trip out there, then close the window and so on, so that the deer kind of get used to different appearances. And like as you're getting your stands in place, you've already through the Whitetail Wise programs, you've patterned how to access those stands. So
Yeah.
you know that just because like say you have a stand over by the water hole, and the deer are only there between 2 and dark, and you think, "Oh, I'll go out there 3:30." Well, you know that based on the access and all the other analytics that you've done on the property, means you may even, say in this scenario, you may even have to leave at 5 a.m. You
Right.
know, knowing that you do that full day sit, you've had successful access to that stand. Bring your snacks, bring your hot whatever you need, your hot lunch, and you sit and you're patient because
hmm
you're trusting the strategy, you're trusting the analytics. As new fathers and with kids and so on, like our opportunities to hunt aren't as much as they used to be.
Yeah.
And that was another motivation behind building Whitetail Wise and building strategies. And I often talk about that scenario with many people. And you know, last our 1 year there, well, it was October 1st. We had this one deer coming in. His name was Big Daddy, and he was on a food plot. It was a bit of an edge with an apple orchard. This guy, we were actually doing newborn photos that day with my daughter and my wife, and we were talking, and like the photographer here, I'm like, listen, it's like 3:45. I gotta go,
I gotta
and
go.
like we're doing the last shots, and like the wife has you all picked out in clothing and stuff like that. So you're running in the house, you're not even having a scent-free shower or nothing. You're hoping for
Yo,
the best. You're
yo.
trusting the analytics. I'm running up a 300-meter hill to get to my stand, and I wasn't even in there 45 minutes. Sure enough, he was a hungry guy. He was about a 4-year-old buck. Comes out 6 point, no, sorry, 8 point, and comes out and bow shot. It was like 25 yards,
Oh
and
my gosh.
it was first sight, and it was a a real proof of the analytics. It's one thing to build the programs for other people, but when you start really trusting it and you're at the analytics yourself and live and breathe through the analytics. I mean, these are the technology advantages that we get to use from like Spypoint cameras and
Mm-hmm.
being able to get temperature, instant notifications, high quality imaging, and really be able to get the detail on not only pattern deer but pattern specific deer. And I think that's completely different strategy now is being able to target. You take the entire deer's patterns and being able to really pattern a specific deer. Like this is the one I want. And like, yeah, I know the patterns of the rest. And if it comes to, the end of the season, yeah, the meat in the freezer analogy. But if
Mm-hmm.
you are going, in the beginning of the season and you're like, let's do this. And like, I'm going to go for that guy. And, like you can take those analytics and you go for him. And when it all comes together and you are successful, I mean, it's great. I mean, last
Yep.
year I shot a smaller 2.5, 4 point. I mean, he didn't have a big rack.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a big rack by any means, but I mean, he was 175 pounds of dressed meat. Like, he was a big,
Damn.
young deer.
Yeah,
He
that's a
was
big
well
deer.
fed on the food plot. He was well fed through the minerals. He grew well. And, like I was sitting in this one stand I call Hilltop. And it's a nice hawk double stand. It's comfortable. You're sitting in there all day long. I had the patterns in place. And, like, there was a doe, and that was like last year's fawn, turning into like no more spots. He was there. He's a yearling, and you can see his little antler nubs. And then you got the doe and the young buck sitting there all the time. He's just chilling out in the food plot, eating away at the radishes and turnips. And like pattern one, pattern two, first hunt, second hunt. I'm like, okay, we're getting closer to the end of October. This is like my fifth hunt out. I'm like, I know based on other patterns that there are bucks that are hanging around, but they're a little shy. It's a new habitat. We did a lot of changes to the area that year. We took a food plot from a 1/4 acre, made it 2 acres in the middle of the woods. And like I said, with generational growth, it can take some time for some of those more mature deer to get used to the changes. Where does, as long as the
Right.
food's good and the bedding's good, they're easy in, easy out.
Yep.
And sure enough, you hear this guy clashing through this young buck, and you right away, that was
Yeah.
another successful harvest at 35 yards, and it let the patterns and the analytics do all the hard work. Six hunts out, and that's how the statistics work.
Yep. That's how you know. That's right. Did you apply for your antlerless tag at all?
Yeah, I was successful,
Yeah.
and my wife also hunts, and
Yeah.
you know, as a family, we're lucky that we can have one or the other, and it seems to be in our wildlife unit that every other year, her or myself are awarded a tag. So it's definitely nice to be
Nice.
able to have options, and like building generational growth. Despite us having those options, um, we will probably take the first doe on the property this year. But
Mm.
for the last few years, building that herd, we got one doe. She's older. She looks like she's about 5. She got really bad sagging spine. She's always by herself. She's limping. Like you get
Mm.
the high quality videos from the Spypoint cameras. You can see her limping. She's dragging along. And being in 55A, we do have Algonquin wolves here, and they are protected. And I mean, you go outside it, you're cooking dinner on the big green egg and listen to what's going on the horizon, and I mean, it's wolves howling constantly, and
Wow.
it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it's probably this year for her, and she's slowing down. Like you see her even leave a field, like she's barely leaving there with a boat. She's limping on her way out, and
Oh
it
man. Past her prime. She's.
past her prime, but
Yeah.
meat in the freezer, and she's probably good at 175-pound doe.
Yeah. I
So
mean, they
yeah.
like they get nasty too. Like at my cousin's place, we've seen them. So he'll throw some food out on his front lawn, flick the lights on at night, and some of these does, they'll get up on their hind legs and they'll freaking swat other
Oh
does
yeah.
around and fight them
Or did
off.
the
It's
snort
like,
stomp?
yeah, the snort.
Like,
Oh my god, the
"Meow,"
snort stomp.
stomp, stomp,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
get out of here,
Fuck,
stomp, stomp.
get out of here. Oh my god, so many times like
Absolutely, you've been
they'll
busted.
yeah, you've been busted, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
you've caught me, just go away now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you don't need to be here, and they'll still stomp and wheeze and do all their snorts and stuff, whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah. But
Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
that is amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember the first time that happened to me, and I didn't even know. I didn't expect it. I was pretty sure I was bear hunting, and just on the ground. And I'm like, oh, cool. Some does were coming in. I'm pretty sure, like it was my fall bear hunt, and now these two does come in. I'm like, cool, cool, and my wind was like basically right in their face, right from my back into their face, and then all of a sudden they stop. They look around like the tree a little bit. I'm like, okay, cool, and then like it was dead, like no wind at all, and then this doe snorts or wheezes and does
Yeah.
this alarm sound. I'm like, what the hell? And like I didn't know
Yeah.
that that was a thing, but yeah, freaked me
Yeah. I
out.
remember one of my first years bow hunting. I was at a buddy's place, just getting into it, and we're walking through this little trail. It was like an old ATV trail, so it was like pretty wide. And like I'm not in any sort of special clothing. I got Walmart camo. I'm like fresh hunter, and I'm pretty sure like it went in the wash with Bounty. Like I'm fluorescent. People can see me. Like it's nothing special. But I'm walking down. I think I'm a ghost, right? But I see a bunch of deer cross maybe 120 yards ahead of me, and so I shuffle foot. I'm quiet. I'm got the heavy breathing. It's my first time. I'm getting up there and sure enough, like they get this one big buck. It spots me, it sees me, it puts his chest out. It's doing the stomp, and then it's like mid-October, fresh rain. That stomping is just,
Yeah,
the foot is going 3 inches deep, and the mud splashing everywhere. Like I'll
yeah,
never
yeah.
forget it, and what a wicked experience. But yeah, it was my first time hearing the stomp, sneeze, snort, blow,
Wow.
and it was like 6 degrees. So when you blow and you see the cloud of steam coming out of the nose, it was pretty cool.
That is cool. That is so cool. Wow, man. So when was your first like hunting experience?
2012, somewhere around there.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you?
Yes. Oh, mine would have been. My dad would take me when I was in grade like 4 or 5, so that would have been 2005. I want to say he would take me. We go for the 2 week rifle season, which was awesome because he always would pull
Oh
me
yeah.
out of school. So he'd pull me
Perfect.
out, drive up north for 3 hours, and then yeah, it was a very different very different approach than what I do now
For
for
sure.
hunting. But he would just go out and say, okay, we went to our cottage. We have fortunate enough, my grandpa has quite a bit of land, and we would just walk all the trails. And it's like we're just walking today, and like same thing. I didn't have any camo. It was like just throw the clothes you have on.
Yeah.
That's is what it
Jeans
is.
and
My dad,
plaid. Yeah.
yep, my dad had this like felt leather jacket. He gave me something like I don't even know what it
Yeah.
was, hunter orange, and he was like, we're just walking until we hopefully can bump into something like, but we're gonna go slow and just learn how to walk on crunching leaves that you don't make a lot of sound.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really changed since then. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Well, absolutely. I
Mm.
mean, like I know you covered a little bit that in your book too, which I mean, your book was awesome, and
Oh, thanks,
that
man.
we we're lucky that Ontario as a province allows us to run some of our advanced technology in the woods. These silent
Hmm.
sentinels that capture absolutely everything, and to the point where like instant notification on your phone. Like it's a completely different game than what it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. I remember the first trail cam my dad grabbed. I think it was a mole tree, and this thing was like a
it
cinder
had a
block.
car battery, right?
Oh, it was insane. It was like
Yeah.
this huge thing, and it was like it would take a photo, and you would check this card. It probably take like one photo, and then the memory card was
Oh,
maxed.
for sure,
And
for sure.
then you look at this shitty photo, and you're like, "Oh, it's so cool. There's something
I think
there."
there's a deer there. Yeah,
Like
that's
awesome.
got to
That's
be a deer, right?
yeah, yeah. This thing weighed 1,000 pounds, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
like it was the shit back then. I remember, and oh, the funniest thing because like it used actual flash, so like it was like
Oh
boom,
yeah.
like a camera flash going off. And I remember I put this trail cam up somewhere, and I forgot where I put it. And I was driving at night with on my ATV, and I drove past it, and all of a sudden it. I crossed paths with it, and there's like this huge flash,
Yeah.
blinded the shit out of me. I was like, "Oh, what the hell was that?"
Yeah. No,
So yeah, there's the old trail cam.
yeah, I mean, you know what? And we've all been there where we've lost one or two in the woods, and 3 or 4
Oh,
years later, you find one. Sometimes a woodpecker got there first, but like
yeah,
that's it, right? I mean, before
yep,
the days of everything was on a GPS map, and oh
yeah.
yeah,
Crazy times how it's changed in ways like where you're going with Whitetail Wise. It's like become very beneficial. It's just like getting a new bow with like new sights and upgraded rests and everything, new
nice.
arrows to make yourself more accurate. It's the same thing that you're doing like with Whitetail Wise. It's like I'm using this technology to my advantage, providing those tools for other hunters to become successful, and
Yeah,
it's proven. It's proven that it's
yeah, it's
working.
proven.
Yeah.
When you combine the packages, you have a disciplined shot, you've had your discipline, you've been practicing, you see yourself practicing your 30-day challenges and stuff like that. And that's
Mhm.
amazing to see him like that because when you are in the heat of the moment and you got the adrenaline pumping through you, if you haven't taken the time to discipline and practice those shots, the very important part of our core values at Whitetail Wiles is ethical hunting and having an ethical, disciplined shot that
Mhm.
matters. And you don't want to be injuring a deer and then trying to deal with that. Like a proper bow shot. You're talking deer should be dropping within 40 to 60 yards of a food plot or mineral site if everything went to plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Exactly. And that was not my case last fall, and I still think about that deer. And yeah, it's I haven't taken a bow shot on a deer in a long time, and yeah, I just put like I was only how far was I? It was like 25 yards or something, so not far at all, and it was that long, like that quick enough of a sound to hit for that. I think what happened when I shot that doe literally ducked and I hit the top
and
of its spine.
and they say that happens. I mean, they arch their backs, the arrow goes right above, and they're
Mhm.
gone and gone like the wind.
Yeah, that was crazy to watch back some of the video. It's not the best videos on my phone, but it was enough to see if you were like where I was aiming compared to where it dropped. It would have just hit the top of that spine,
A little
maybe
bit,
just
yeah,
cleared it. And it's great. Like I was like, holy shit! And unfortunately, yeah, there was another doe looking straight at me, so maybe she reacted more to my movement before the
for
sound
sure.
came off, and
Yeah,
then
I
that,
can see that.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
So and yeah, so I sent my buddies those photos of those 4 bucks that were there this morning. They're like, "It's your year, man! It's your year." I was like, "Fuck, it's been my fucking year for a while."
No, I feel it, man. Like you've
Yeah,
you've you've done the discipline, you've put the
yeah,
work on the property. Balancing being a new dad and getting out there
yeah.
and doing what you have to the habitat. And this year, as for fruit plots, like it's been a challenge. We had
Hmm.
a major drought. A lot of my own food plots, like the brassicas, did not develop because of the way the drought was. And like you're out there in the side by side with a water tote and a 12-volt battery
Yeah,
pump, and you're trying to water not your lawn but your food plot.
yeah.
And
Yeah, that's important. The
right,
lawn,
like the
whatever. Who
lawn can
cares?
go. I mean,
Yeah,
right, and you're doing what
yeah.
you can. We've had a little bit of weather now, but it's the same thing. Why on your property, like that water hole is so key.
Hmm.
Like we've had that drought, we've had a hotter summer, and we're getting some cooler nights, and they're traveling a bit more, and
Yeah,
they're itching for the season to begin as much as we are, and
yeah.
with the changes that you've done to the property and the stands that you have in place, it is you
That's
heard it
that's
here
hope, man.
first.
And you heard it here first. This is I'm gonna look back on this and be like, "Yep, you knew, man." And like as much as I like obviously want to harvest something to kill, it's just like going out is a success. Anyways, you
Absolutely,
go
any
out,
day in the woods is a good day.
it's a good day. So you learn, you're out there, you're breathing, especially as your like time gets more busy and you have some other priorities that you have to do. And then so every time you go out there, it's just you're grateful and you're like, it's nice to be here, even if it's for an hour, 6 hours, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. Or interesting. I guess that you mentioned the hot summer. Did you notice anything on your property that deer were targeting more? Because you have a few watering holes on your property that you've dug out, right?
Yeah, so like on this specific property, we have three water holes. We did see some pretty good traffic. Like we do edge on two different marshes as well, so there's a lot of natural water sources around. Um,
Mm.
it's more or less like the quick walking by, grab a drink type
Mm.
scenario, as opposed to lounge at the beach kind of thing. So and it's funny because one of our water holes, we actually call it the beach because
Yeah.
it's surrounded by beach trees.
Oh, clever.
So it's a
I
little
like
play
it.
on words there. Yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I like it. It's a bit of a joke, but
Yeah. Hey, you gotta keep yourself humble, and it's the little things, you know.
oh, I mean, next thing you know, like you've been out there long enough, you start talking to the squirrel. So
Yeah.
yeah, red
I
squirrels
like it.
sound like a bear,
Oh my
but
gosh, yeah.
and, uh, and they're just ready to go. I mean, 2 weeks they'll be running around. You won't know what's coming. But
Yeah.
we did see an impact. The deer movement. Like they went after a lot of browse. Browse contain
Hmm.
water content, and like red osier dogwood and stuff like that. Like we saw a significant amount of chewing. Um, any sort of vegetation that did contain water, uh, the deer hit that. They weren't hitting clover. They weren't hitting kale. They weren't hitting much early season brassica, broadleaf. Like they were, from what we saw, it was all natural regenerative growth. Hinge cutting nips and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's what we saw, and
Yeah.
it was different than last year. Like this was a whole different year's worth of patterns, and that's why we talk about the longer you have your cameras in place and you keep them in place in the same spots so that they become a statistical anchor that you can continue to reference. The longer they're there, the more you can reference data and compare year 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. This year was our different year. Like
Hmm.
statistics did not align from other years, but the statistics that we did get, we've patterned those deer and we know their movement, and it was a different ball game. And you see them creating and using different trails, and like we had, as you know too, storm after storm. Like it was a bad
Oh,
late winter, it was a
yeah.
bad spring. The amount of trees, I mean, you spend days out there clearing these trails again, and
Yep.
like the deer are used to a dynamic forest. Things change naturally. So do their patterns. So do their access trails. And sometimes if you have too much blowdown, you're starting over.
Yep. Yep. And that's some of that happened at that watering hole too. It's like there was a main game trail that these deer were using, and sure enough, like a big tree, I forget what it was, if it was a maple or something, but just fell, boom, right in the middle of it. But sure enough, they've adapted and they've moved and
Sure.
they've, but yeah, like they've overcome. But it's just it's like these storms, this weather has been like crazy, and like even yeah around here, I swear all of August, I don't even know if I got maybe one deer to like a couple of times in the evening. I would see or like just catch some movement on an access trail or whatever
Yeah.
crossing. And now that the colder weather, the cooler weather's
Boom,
coming,
boom,
it
boom, boom.
seems, yeah, like they're rocking and rolling. And now it's like I've
Big
seen more
time.
bucks than does like this year, which is two
That's
thumbs up
awesome.
for me. I didn't get a
Absolutely.
doe tag this year. I actually it's pretty funny because um, I was messaging my buddy Trev. You met him,
Yes.
and I was like,
Very
"Oh
nice guy.
man," I was like, August 1st is tomorrow. Gonna find out if I get a doe tag. This is pumped up. I'm excited. And I go and I'm like checking in, like, oh shit, I totally forgot to even apply. It just like,
Oh no.
yeah, I thought I did. I was so confident. I was like, I've but like, cause usually I get all my tags basically in the
Yep.
springtime. You get your moose, you get your bear, turkey,
Yep.
whatever the case is, and you apply for the deer. And I'm like, I would have bet my house that I applied for this
Oh
tag.
man.
I didn't, so whatever. That's the way it
That's
goes.
all right.
Yeah,
That's all right.
I'll just
It happens.
yeah, I'll just shoot a massive buck this year. That's all right.
That's all
That's
right.
okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. Too bad.
But you start powdering those bucks, and like with these cold weather, like we're getting frost. We're seeing
Yeah.
temperatures go from 25 to -2. The deer are moving. I mean, like
Yep.
we're seeing it on our location. Like our clover plots are coming back in strong for like the end of the season growth, and like we're getting. I mean, like wife and I, like we have to silence the Spypoint because we're getting 200-300 notifications between noon to noon the next day. Like it's
Jesus.
just, and it's just, it's great to see, I think because it's a constant behavior, what you want to see, the disciplines there,
Mm-hmm.
the deer, they're using the habitat. But it becomes like, yep, they're there again. Yep, still there.
Still there.
And as great as that is, it's almost like information overload. It's like,
Yeah. Be
but
good with it.
getting every angle, being able to get extra characteristics of like a deer's rack. Like I have one guy, he's a 12 point, and he's someone I've been trying the pattern for a few years. He's got quite a large radius, and because he wasn't like born and raised in like this type of engineered habitat, he's still a
Mm-hmm.
little skittish and whatnot. And but he's got like a third brow tie,
No.
and I can't wait. I mean, like we've been
Oh,
trying.
buddy.
Yeah, he's got third brow tie. He's a very unique buck, and the guy's got to be 220, 240. Like, he's just a beast.
Jesus. I love
Yeah,
those those
and
like
for
cool
Ontario, it's big
characteristics.
deer.
Yeah, that is a big deal. I mean, for really any like northern, yeah, Ontario for sure. But I mean, like compared to the states, like these deer are massive. They're like
Yeah,
miniature elk compared to some
yeah,
of the southern deer like Texas or something that's skinnier, different climates.
yeah.
But that's so cool, man. I hope you get them. Hope you get that big boy.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that's what's. I mean, like everybody that like our clientele, like we're all seeing like there's the guy we're after. We have these end of season like preseason phone calls, basically end of strategy. We've done all the boots on the ground. We've done all the work. We've done all
Mm-hmm.
the homework. We've done all the chores. We've created funnels and bedding, and we have these. Okay, this is the report we generate for the end of the year, and we have this conversation similar to like what we've had in the past, and what we say. Okay, this is what we're going to be doing, and you see the enthusiasm. Like they're ready to go, and
Yeah.
they got their target buck, they got their plan B, they got their buddies who are only allowed to hunt that specific deer. That doe, she's tripod or something, missing a leg or something, and like yeah, like my friends Frank can hunt that deer. They all create like these hunt strategy, and it brings everybody together, and it's exciting to see. It's what hunting's all about, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your hunting plans looking like this year? Like, do you plan like October 1st season opener? You're gonna
Absolutely.
jet out? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
mean,
go out.
absolutely. Statistically, look, the weather is still a little bit too far out to forecast it. But if a few variables align with the weather, like a big temperature swing, we'll be out there bow season early on. And then, we don't really do a whole lot in November hunting. We're mostly a bow family, and um, our goal has always been like, let the statistics drive the successful harvest. And because the rut becomes semi unpredictable, because it's just a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
men chasing girls around the woods. Um, it the strategy works for October,
Yeah.
and that's when we aim to tag out.
Do you do much calling at all, like hand calls or rattling or anything like that?
Yes and no. I mean, if we are hunting outside of statistical support, we
Mm-hmm.
do try use those enhanced methods. Like if it's right peak rut, you've seen multiple bucks moving into a location together. Cameras have already shown you like overnight fights and stuff like that. Yeah, we might try rattling. Um,
Yeah.
like if you have a fawn now yearling kicking around, you might try to do a fawn call, maybe bring in a doe, hope a buck follows. Um, but no, not really. I mean, like on a full statistical support property that we have a strategy in place.
Mm-hmm.
We sit there quietly and we draw back when it's time.
Yeah. Dude, absolutely, man. I can't. Yeah, I'm hoping October 1st I can get out there. I think my goal, I think, or my first spot would probably be the water hole. I think that's just a good starting point, and
For
then
sure.
switch it up, go to the field, that sort of thing, tinker around. But yeah, let's you mentioned the clover coming through. I walked through the food plot that I told you about. That I was like, man, I think the seeds are cooked. Like, I don't think they're gonna be growing. I did see some growth. I saw some stuff. So
Yeah.
I know for sure some of it was clover. I don't know if with the other stuff if that was maybe, I don't know. whatever, whatever the
Yeah, yeah,
mix
no,
was.
yep.
Yeah, but yeah, some stuff was coming through, so I'll send you some photos. But it's like just little stuff. But I think even just a little bit of green could help.
I mean, they can the smells there. I mean, whether it's a mouthful for them to eat early on with a late growth, next year it's in place. It's a type of plant that comes back every year. It's a perennial,
Hmm.
and like I had clover that was almost knee high this year. I had to do two mowings in clover this year,
Mm.
because our early spring, we had some of that really hot April, and then we
Yeah,
got more rain, and then May was hot, with a balance of rain, and then it was just drought, and then like twice our clover flowered. It was
yeah,
absolutely great, and
yep,
just how high and how thick. I mean, you put your hand in it and you can't even wiggle your fingers. It's just thick clover, and
wow.
the deer. I mean, during this call, I mean, my phone's lighting up constantly. They're mowing down right now, and um, clover is it's an easy food plot. I mean,
Hmm.
it's pH neutral. I mean, it's more forgiving. It's easy to prep, and you're looking at when you're in the woods. What type of habit, like what would be a good source of food on the edge of a hardwoods or something, and some deer take years to get used to having brassicas. Like
Hmm.
it's a cultural shock. If you're in a northern area and they're not used to bean fields, soybeans, and so on. Yeah, thrown in some sort of brassicas or radishes and turnips, which are brassica family, and kale brassica family. Um, it can take a while for them to get used to it. I mean, like last year, we introduced a brassica food plot to one location, and they only ate the broadleaves. They didn't dig
Hmm.
out any. We had massive turnips, and massive radishes.
And they didn't
They,
take any of them.
not really, not even late December like you would typically anticipate them to start pawing at and whatnot. They only ate the tops, and
Hmm.
what that tells me is like that herd of deer that where we are, they're not seeing much agricultural fields that people are planting, farmers. Um, so then they don't have much exposure to it other than maybe someone's garden. So like you got to keep it within the lines of
Yeah.
attraction, and like that's where our northern Ontario deer strategies are a little bit different than say even southern Ontario. You're talking, Grand Bend and downwards, Park Hill and those areas there. They have completely different strategies.
Yeah.
Um, but when you're talking woodland deer, you got to keep the food sources somewhat palatable for them, and the clover definitely works.
Yeah, yeah, I agree for that for sure too. Because even when they started coming up, and I didn't know, so yeah, like I had my the cameras up on the field, and I didn't know that the clover was coming through, but I did notice some more action, like some
Nice.
deer kind of grazing. I was like, oh, interesting. And then I just ended up going for a little bit of a walk, and I was like, oh shit, there's some nice fresh clover coming through. So I was like, maybe
Nice.
that's they're coming through, just grazing and
Yep.
on with their day. But yeah, definitely Clover is. It's been like I did that I think 2 years ago. Seems like it's still kicking around, which is
Yep.
nice. And yeah, that field's been nice too for some good success from my brother-in-law, and then yeah, Trev last year. So
Yeah. I mean
yeah,
that field is just ready for successful harvest, and like it's got
yeah,
so much potential there. It's got proper edging. You got that open field northwest wind available there. You got it's definitely a textbook scenario that you have unlimited potential with.
yep, yeah. And I think it's like so both guys shot both their first bucks out of that tree. Like there's the one tree, it's a tamarack, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like shit. I gotta do. I guess like a
you
third
gotta go in
one.
the Tamarack.
I got to go in the tamarack tree and shoot one of them. So yeah, I just freaking can't wait. But yeah, man, oh, just talking about it. Like now doing this podcast, just talking to more people in the outdoors. Now we're
Yeah,
getting in. Like we're in hunting season right now,
over
and
here.
yeah,
I
we're
mean,
here.
hunting season never goes away, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I
There's
mean,
always something. to do, you
It's
know?
always it's always there. I mean, 365. I mean, you could get
Mhm.
3 feet of snow in the woods, and we're already snowmobiling, planning, and doing things, hinge cutting, dragging a chainsaw on a little toboggan behind you, so you can do some cuts that, or
Yeah.
like an example like this year is we putted around on the snowmobile, and we got to locations that are very marshy, very deep marsh. Like you
Mm.
can't even hip weight, or you can't get anything through it unless you got like an hour grow or something. But
Right.
we waited for the snow. We got in there and we deployed some Spypoint
Mm.
cameras, and they got the solar panels built into them, so they just run and run and
Mm-hmm.
run, and and what we look at is the amount of data that we can harvest from how the deer are accessing from a different perspective that we weren't able to analyze before because of like access limitations. These
Mm-hmm.
deer, they walk through it, especially the more mature mud bucks and whatnot. They don't care. But could we
Yeah.
analyze it before? No, we couldn't get in there. It was thick brush, snowmobiles made it different. I mean, so the answer there is like, yeah, I mean, the season never ends.
The season never
You're
ends,
always,
yeah.
I'm on your phone, you got that Microsoft To Do or something on, you're trying to put in okay, this, and then it could be a couple of weeks later, you're sitting on the couch or whatever, and you're like reordering what is a priority, like what I gotta do next, like your wife went,
Yeah.
"What are you doing now?" Reordering my chore list. She goes, "Yeah, you can go
Yeah.
cut the lawn or something." No, no, no. I'm talking about the chores in the woods.
I know,
Mm.
man. Same way. It's like I just try to, do whatever the home base needs as quickly as possible, or just like it's not that big of a deal if I don't do it. And it's like I just want to get back. I just want to scout, just be out there. It's like the more I feel like the more time like you're out in the woods with the deer, it's like you get to know them better, especially in your
Yep,
home turf.
absolutely.
And like that goes. And you're always finding, learning new things. So if a new hunter is like approaching this season and they don't know really where to go, they're hunting in like kind of our area. What would you recommend them doing
In like
if they're
terms of
gonna?
crown line hunting,
Yeah, let's say that they're going hunting crown land. Like where would you be like? Not I know that's a pretty like it can get very complex, but it's like
I mean, hunt like
I
our
don't know.
fathers and their grandfathers did 25
Mm,
years ago. I mean,
yep.
if you're on public land and you haven't done any preseason work, I mean, we don't have any
Mm,
statistical advantages. I mean, a lot of people in that scenario, you're just hunting bait piles. I mean, you're
yeah.
hoping for the
Yeah.
best. You're putting out some corn, some apples, some carrots. You're competing with everybody else on crown that's doing the same. I mean, you might have a camera or two, and you might be able to see what's going on. But if you're just picking a spot at random on Crown Land Atlas on the Ontario government site, and yeah, I'm gonna go up to 68 or something, and heel toe express it. Go back to the basics. Looking for sign, rubs, scrapes, like broken branches, foraging, Osher dogwood, looking for the nibbles, looking for any young maple trees, looking for the nibbles,
Hmm.
fresh footprints, looking for the dew claws, getting the size, rough idea of the size of the deer, the spread in the toes, like go back to the basics. And as a new hunter, you should start there. I mean, you have
Yeah.
to respect the deer, and there's lots of great literature online that you can find. YouTube University, how to identify patterns and how to identify deer tracks, and like understanding the size difference between like a yearling and a buck, and you could be chasing a yearling, walking the entire day, carrying 25 pounds of gear that feels like 80 pounds, and you're chasing something you can't even shoot. Ethically, maybe you shouldn't, and go back to the basics.
Yeah.
Start there,
Yeah.
and then as you become a more tenured, seasoned hunter, you've almost like earned your stripes to being able to do some statistics. But
Yeah, yeah, you take it to like the next level. But I guess like it's like just get out, start walking, start learning, taking notes, and just get out there. Step one, just basically get out there.
and that's it. It's about controlling your movement, like rolling your foot on crunchy leaves, and knowing how to
Hmm.
manage your scent control, and like getting. Say you had to drive there in your Chevy, and you get there and like not slamming the car door, right? Like, or you parked an extra kilometer away so you could walk the edge, not on the gravel, but you're walking on the grass, so you can a little
Yeah.
bit quieter, and you cut into where you are, and you just looking for that first snort blow, you got busted experience, so that you know that they're there, they know that you're there, and Uh, that's what it's all about. I mean, they're just getting out in the woods. I mean,
Hmm.
it took me first 3 years before I was as a new hunter before I was successful. So I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah, and some people it takes longer than that too to like, depending on where obviously where they're going and what they're doing. But I find that like a big challenge, and it's daunting in a way of like, and like it's good that it's daunting, but also you want like hunting for new hunters to be welcoming. But it's like holy crap, where do you like, especially for big game? It's like where do you even start? What do you even do?
yeah,
It's a big responsibility, and yeah, to like help people bridge that gap to like get like, you know, this is what you can really focus on for this year and kind of earn your stripes and work your way up. And to have some mentors is a good thing, but it's, yeah, because it can get like pretty overwhelming pretty quick.
for sure. I mean, just overwhelming just in equipment alone, like learning what
Hmm.
a whisker biscuit is to, knowing your draw weight, or if you're going right to a crossbow, or, like recurve, or, just there's so many different uh, equipment things to learn, let
Hmm.
alone understanding the deer. And then, you know, what happens when you do see the deer? Like, then you have to understand deer anatomy and like where to shoot, what ethical shoot. You see those Instagram shot placement with the three dots. Like where do you shoot? And everybody comments, right? Like
Hmm.
just keep going, doing the self education. Like you don't want to be chasing a heavy deer by yourself from a bad shot.
Yeah.
And understanding that even if you didn't have a great shot, you know, let the buck or doe, expire in peace. Give them half hour of rest. Like you
Yeah.
heard the thump. Okay, you heard the thump. It's over there. Pat yourself on the back. Text your wife. Text your buddy.
Yeah.
Sit there
Make a
and wait.
video.
Make a video. Holy shit, I got it. You know what I'm
Holy
saying,
shit.
right?
Shaking video.
Oh yeah, but yeah. And and then once you do get that shot, that's when the real work begins.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fun stuff. That's what I look forward to the most, man. Oh, yeah, it's I absolutely love, there's now been three hunters where I've known the person, never hunted, got their hunting license, and now they hunt and they have been successful in shooting and killing something. And their favorite thing is always harvesting the meat and cooking the meat, and that's what they talk about the most. And yeah, like that stuff I
I mean, you
love
pull the
too. I
back
love
strap
sharing
off,
it.
put it on the grill right away.
Oh my god, like nothing gets better than that, especially if you do an open fire, just like
Absolutely.
salt, pepper, like, oh man, that's what the memories, the dreams are made out of.
Yeah,
Like
that's when you
those,
crack open the
oh,
bourbon and everybody's sitting by the fire eating that fresh backstrap.
oh baby, yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to. I hopefully have a few nights of those coming this fall. That's for
I think you
sure.
will.
Yeah,
I think you
I
will.
hope so, man. I freaking hope so. So what's the future looking like for Whitetail Wise? You guys got any crazy plans?
We're actually looking at, we have a current Whitetail Wise engineered property up for sale. So we have 135 acres here in Whitney. There's a home on it. We live here year round, and we're looking for change, and we're looking at splitting up some different habitats and getting a few different properties going in place, and being able to pattern and run the analytics and have not just the choice of the litter on one property, but choice of the litter on multiple properties. And so we're
Hmm.
looking at doing some changes for ourselves there. Like our clientele, we're getting a full schedule. We're going all over on Ontario, from Park Hill to Empire to Sunridge to in behind Tobermory there. Like we're all over the place down in Napanee. We're willing to do the drive, and I understand that Ontario is a big province, and
Yep.
it's exciting to work in so many different Ontario-based habitats because you can go from Napanee, you're on the island down there, and wow, what a different style habitat. It's all cedar,
Right.
it's all thick brush. You go down towards and Pryor, it's a little bit similar to our habitat, but they don't get quite as much snow, so you do have a lot more wintering deer, and your analytics are completely different for the winter season, or you go all the way out towards, say, like where else are we talking about here? Um, like over by Linton. Like you look over there, and it's all agricultural fields, and it's just
Mm.
deer everywhere. I mean, like you're talking, you'll see looking at the field there, that's leftover beans from the farmer taking a corner too short, and there's 20 deer out there. Like, how do
They're
you
big deer
pattern that,
too.
right? It's a
Like,
whole different ball game.
yeah, yeah. There's one guy I follow, and he's just like this one. Like the deer, the bucks are just like massive. Like they're just huge, and it's like it's a different beast, different kind of animal because they're eating all that corn and all that stuff. But um, nice. So yeah, so I was one thing I was going to ask you about is like, have you ever thought? It seems you have of like buying property, improving it, and then reselling it for hunters to use, for
Yeah,
instance.
so that, I mean, we're getting our feet in the water with that. We're kind of
Yeah.
experimenting of these like Whitetail Wise engineered properties, turnkey hunt ready for a hunt camp, turnkey ready for an outfitter, turnkey ready for a family for self-sustainability, and being able to
Mm-hmm.
have a little bit more of a guaranteed freezer filler harvest. So we're experimenting a little bit. Um, like I said, it's a little bit different in the States. We don't have thousands of people looking for turnkey properties. But
Right.
I mean, it only takes one or two or three, to kind of be looking for something like that. And engineering these habitats in like between like on the east side of the Algonquin Park is something we thrive in, and we've seen lots of great successful results. And there's lots and lots of property around here for sale,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to take those properties, turn them into something that deer are thriving, 5 year of statistical evidence, and passing the baton on to a family that
Yeah.
and can enjoy the benefits of it. It's pretty rewarding, and then you get the text message a few years later that it was a successful harvest. So
Yeah.
it's great.
No, that's cool. And like you see all these services in the states that are like that. Like there's big companies that's like, here's a 1,000 acre piece of land, perfect whitetail habitat or
Yeah,
hunting
yeah,
grounds. And you're like, yeah, no shit. But it's like, yeah, there's a huge market in the states, and Trev and I always talk about that too. Just being like, I wonder if there is some sort of market. And there's got to be here, like people that are, group of 5, 10 people, because that's usually like there are those that
for
they
sure.
come up and they go to their crown land and they have their hunts, and that's fine, that's great.
Yeah,
But
they
you
put
got
up
to
the
think,
outfitter
and
tent and away they go.
yeah, they do that, but you got to think like, um, yeah, they would be interested in being like, oh, there's a guy worked on a piece of property, he has the
Yep.
results. It could be our own slice of heaven, like it's just us going up there, like it's got,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly. And like we sell the properties
know.
with like all the equipment on place, the ladder stands, the stands in place, all the technology. We
Mm,
do transfer of ownerships, batteries, solar
wow.
panels, custom rigs. Like it's just turnkey. Just
Yeah.
literally transfer, register, wait, hunt, repeat.
Oh shit, if anyone's listening and you want a sick ass property, hit you up.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I might even
absolutely.
buy it off you.
All of that
Just
might get you
gonna
a
move
deal.
in.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Oh man, that's wicked. Do you ever apply for moose and like go moose hunting?
So the moose system changed. It's not
Yeah.
great in my opinion. Without
No?
getting
You,
into political about it, but at the moment, two young kids under, a 2 year old and a 1 year old. I'm just collecting the 99Z point right now,
hmm.
like just collecting the points so that in a few more years I have a better percentile when the family's in a little bit easier position to take the family up north to
Yeah.
like Wawa or something for like a family moose hunt.
Yeah.
I'll have a tag in place.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I did. I waited and I went up to Hearst area. So that's
yeah,
where that's where I got. I was like I think it was 7 points. That's where
seven
I was.
points, eh? Yeah,
7 points, second allocation. That's when I
nice.
got my bull
I'm
tag.
not far away from that, and like we were out in BC for a few years, so my points reset, come back, and it's a whole
Mm.
different system. So it's
Oh fuck.
yeah, no, that's all
Damn.
right. Yeah,
Oh man.
that's all right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to get into it too much, but so you don't like the new system, eh?
I think the system could use some improvement.
Yeah. It seems like
Yeah,
they're doing some stuff like
they do. There's
they're.
there's actually some significant I approve changes that are coming to. Not that my opinion matters for that, but I think it's great that I know that they're trying to balance population, and like we know moose population is dwindling. But I don't necessarily think tinkering with the point system is the solution. Um,
Mm.
I think we have like an abundance of predator, and predator control is not properly being necessarily being done. But that's a whole rabbit hole conversation.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while that I want to do like more predator hunting and predator control because it's like in my area, it's like you're allowed two tags, whether it be a coyote or a wolf, just two of them, and that's
Yeah,
it. And I'm like, I feel like you got to give us more to make it a little bit more, drive some more incentive to actually hunt. It's more like, oh, if you conveniently see a wolf or coyote, sure, shoot it, and you get one
sure.
or two tags.
Yeah,
But if you were to provide maybe four tags, that would give me more of an incentive to be like, okay, I'm gonna go out there and actually try to shoot, call them in, get some equipment and some gear to invest into this style of
yeah,
hunting.
for sure.
Because
Get
last
the
year was
rabbit calls and stuff.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the rabbit calls and
So
it was
where we are
insane.
on the
Yeah.
east side of Algonquin, like we have multiple, like we're in 55A specifically, and
Mhm.
within our municipality we have like subcategories, and these subcategories of area specifically. I mean, wolves and coyotes are protected, but I mean, like you hear them. I mean, they're everywhere. You drive down the road, you see a deer at the side of the road, and it's been chewed out the back, and something dragged it there, and it we start changing the balance of things, and there's repercussions.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's crazy. And like that sucks that that they're protected in a way where you are because I'm on like the border, thank God, and like last year there was just so many wolf like they're just cruising that one ridge line going to the watering hole too like there was
Sure.
one day
I mean,
all
everybody goes
day.
there.
Yeah, everyone goes there, and there was like I think three or four different wolves that were just like cruising around and howling and just doing nuts like crazy things. um but yeah, man, they can take one takes one pack like that and they can do some damage to all, like you said earlier, all the hard work that you've put in for years. It takes one storm, or it takes,
Yep.
you know, just Mother Nature, wildlife running its course, and yeah, you got to start over. You got to just regroup, plan out, and
Yep.
take some different
I mean, like
actions.
we look at the cameras and like this specific property, we got 25-ish cameras deployed, and we look at like if we see a lone wolf run through the food plot or in between water holes or this trail or that, we know that you guarantee that we won't see a deer. Or like
Hmm.
if we just saw a deer in the food plot and it's 7:57, 8:01, there goes a wolf. You see the deer. The deer knew the wolf was coming, bumped out of there, got winded, and away, and
Yeah,
then not back until for a day or two.
yeah, yeah. I think you said that last year. You were like, "Yeah, I'm in the stand. Got a good chance of seeing something," and then sure enough, like wolf. Like
Yep.
wolves are howling, going there crazy. So it's pretty much done. Like
I
nothing's
mean,
gonna come in.
that's right. And then the deer do get. I mean, the deer on this side of the park, they're a little bit more, in my opinion, accustomed to the higher population of wolves, and sometimes they'll circle back a little quicker. But I mean, like, when the balance is skewed, it has a domino
Mhm.
effect.
Yeah. Oh man, what would you like? Do you do any predator control yourself, or like just
I,
when you
I
can?
really can't hear.
Oh right, yeah. Protect it.
So on my personal property, I can't. I do encourage those who are able to. If you
Mhm.
do feel like in your own morals and beliefs that you're what you think from like a population of deer or coyotes, sorry, or wolf is out of alignment for your area, and you see them unnecessarily wiping out too much of a deer herd. I mean,
Mhm.
we are part of the food chain too, and we also restore food, restore balance. Um, Having territorial restrictions through the conservation program, or where we can actually restore balance, becomes a challenge. Um, but for your own, if you have like even your own livestock, your own chickens and whatnot,
Mhm.
um, and then you're managing a deer herd additionally on your property, we do encourage people to take the necessary precautions to reduce extra n- nuisance behavior on the property.
Mhm. Yeah, there was at my cottage that was about 15 minutes away. I had two sheep that were just like free range, like literally like no fence, no anything. I came back from hunting bear in the morning, came back and I was like, oh, where's? I see one of my sheep. I was like, where's the other? Where's the other one? And I look over and a coyote had its mouth completely around the neck
Oh wow.
of the sheep, and it's like almost like if you're playing tug of war with a dog. It's like it was like that. I was like pulling to try and pull the sheep down, and
Wow.
thankfully, like the sheep had so much thick fur that it didn't nothing got injured, nothing, whatever. Because I was able to get my gun, took a shot off. I just spooked the coyote. He ran, he took off, but I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's something that, yeah. If I had it, I mean, it was a little bit further of a distance, but the intentions were to shoot that coyote. It was just really close to that sheep,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, yeah,
Being responsible, knowing your shot
mm,
placement. If you're not
yeah,
confident, do the right thing.
yep, yep. Do the right thing, man. Yeah. Well, man, I really, I appreciate your business and like what your intentions are as Whitetail Wise, like
Thank you. Thank
especially
you.
die hard with trying to do and promote and have the education as much as we can in Ontario because there's a huge market for it. There's people that need to learn this stuff, and I think it's cool. It's like I think it's like the starting of something a lot bigger for the hunting industry in Ontario, and I think we're going to see a lot more people buying properties, learning more from guys like yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, to like know more about deer, understand their terrains, understand their property, and at the end of the day, be successful in whichever way that means for them. But yeah, I'm excited to see the journey for the Whitetail Wise.
Thank you. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
excited to see it continue to grow, and I
Mm.
we I think I believe this is an accurate statistic, but I might be off by a little bit. But I think the province released that there's almost 27,000 new first-time hunters being introduced this year,
No
and
way.
it's like a
Holy shit.
first-time boom since I believe the early 90s. I could be wrong there too, but that's what I seem to remember. And I
Wow.
think that's exciting. I mean, people we've gone through some changes in society, and I think people are starting to think, maybe meat won't always be as available as it is, and you
Yeah.
know, um, let's get back to fundamentals and basics and our instincts and being able to harvest what we need to. And um, people want the guidance, people want to do it successfully, and we're here to help people get there. And um, yeah, and then let's see what the next few years looks like, and it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. And like I said earlier, like new hunters. I never would have guessed really that they would have got their hunting license and then followed through with it, getting their hunting license and being successful. I never would have guessed that would happen, but it was so cool to watch that happen. And that's just within my kind of circle. And so
Yeah.
I just hope the same thing with social media promotion. People can see and get a more in depth look on hunting, that it's more than just like what people see in the media. And I just think that's like, it's
Yeah,
really cool.
for sure.
Yeah, cool to see. So, yeah, man. Well, why don't we end it on that note?
Sure.
But why don't you tell people where they could reach you?
Sure. You can reach me at whitetailwise.com. There's a contact form there. It goes to a few of us here. We can figure out where what your needs are and how to work with you forward. We kind of go through like our flow of phases. So we do like a introductory email. We'll work with you, get some information, see what your goals are, see if we can start building a program for you. We get into like an online consultation, and then it's like boots on the ground, and we're getting strategic analysis. We build a game plan, and then we start getting into stand placement. So that it's a bit of a flow of how we like to work with you. And you can do that. You can email me, Dennis at whitetailwise.com. Find me on our social media. Go to our contact page. We have all of our 6 core principles on our website if you would like to look under the land stewardship page. And we try to be very transparent with our ethics and beliefs, and understanding that we are using technology to our advantage, and that we are playing within the rules of Ontario. And we look at being able to build a self-sustainable, herd-managed, strategic habitat for your property. And we can do that for yours, and you'll have successful hunts.
Yeah, right
And it's
on,
been an
man.
absolute pleasure being on this podcast. And I think this podcast is a great thing for you. And
Thanks,
We've
man.
watched every episode, and I can't wait to see more come.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. There's lots. I have some more some more guests, specifically Ontario too, which I really like to tailor
For sure.
towards. So yeah, I'm excited to get some more guests on. And another side note too is, so you sent me when you came to my property. Also, like you sent me basically like 2 phases, like a
Yep,
current to do list and then like future plans.
for sure.
So I'm excited over the next however many years. Is just like you said, tinkering at it a little bit
Yep.
at a time. But looking forward to
Yeah, that's the
seeing the
thing. Everybody has
progress.
their own pace, and whatever works for you guys. And I look forward to see the result of phase 2 for your property and the successful harvest that come with it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening to another Outdoors Dan podcast.
You bet.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone.